Yo guys, Codelife here. So in this video today guys, I'm going to be going over the best competitive settings for Fortnite Season 8. So you guys can jump straight into the newest season with the highest FPS and the lowest input delay, along with a few other advantages that you'll see later in this video. But starting off, we've got the Fortnite video settings. For Windows mode guys, this should be on full screen. All the rest can cause issues. You definitely want to be on full screen. For resolution, I recommend using the native 1920 by 1080 resolution, as that's what most pros are rocking at the minute. But you could always use a stretched resolution, which is a very popular option for a few different advantages, like a FPS boost and bigger player models, but it does come at the cost of two main disadvantages, which those are lower texture quality and lower FOV, which does discourage a lot of people from using stretched resolution. But if you guys are interested in the advantages and you do want to use a stretched resolution in Fortnite Season 8, here are a few different resolutions on screen that you can use right now. These are what most pros are using if they do use a stretched resolution. And guys, by the way, I will have a stretched res tutorial in the description below for those that are curious on how to set it up. For graphics quality, your view distance should be on near for the best possible performance. However, if you guys are wanting a longer range of visibility, you can always bump it up to either of these on screen right now, obviously the ones that are above near. You won't see that much of a difference in FPS. Honestly, like, I've been testing it guys, and the difference isn't really that noticeable, but I think it does just depend on how much you value performance over view distance. If you've got a lower end PC, you probably should just play on near, so you can obviously get like every frame possible. But if you've got a high end PC, you could always just bump it up to epic, and I don't think you'll see that much of a difference, to be honest. For graphics, these are honestly all personal preference these days. They did used to have a big advantage back in the earlier days of Fortnite. This was especially the colorblind options, but these days it doesn't really matter on which one you pick. From player to player it does though, I must admit. Like, that's why you see players like Tayson use Triton up 5 and a certain brightness. It all just comes down to which colours look better for you and which help you see enemies better. This can all change and be different for every person. That's why you see so many different colorblind modes, brightness settings. It all just comes down to you as the player. Don't get me wrong, take inspiration from the pros, but don't blindly copy them. Take inspiration from them, and if that inspiration works perfectly for you, then fair enough, go ahead and copy. If not, make small adjustments and see what works best. Next up is textures. I recommend having this setting on low, but you can have it on medium if you do have a high-end CPU to actually take some load off your GPU. As well as that, we've got two brand new settings. Number one is download high resolution textures, and the other is basically the same thing, but just a reminder. Guys, for these two settings, you want to turn them both off, as one, they take up more storage on your hard drive due to the higher textures taking up a lot more space and resources, and then on top of that, they also decrease your performance as well, as higher resolutions equals more pixels, and that does lower your FPS as it's more strain on your PC specs. For meshes guys, this one is a bit of a complex one because it's been debated a ton in the Fortnite community of which one's better. Is it low meshes? Is it high? But what I'll do guys in this video is I'll firstly put up what low meshes looks like in game so you can see what the textures look like, etc, etc, and then what I'll do is I'll switch over now to high meshes, and you can see what that currently looks like in game as we speak. Between the two, this is them getting flicked through and through. You can see the differences. I find that high meshes gives the buildings or builds more detail, making the visibility better. You can see enemies through them like a lot clearly, I feel like. But on the other hand, I feel like low meshes actually do make your visibility obviously worse, but at the same time, my performance feels a lot more smoother and better on it. I don't know if it's placebo. I don't know if any of these give more lower input delay than the other. Like, I don't think they do, as more pros would favour one over the other, but it's really equal at the minute. Ultimately, guys, I think that it is just personal preference. As like I mentioned, we've been seeing pros in the community being divided between low meshes and high meshes for so long. So yeah, I think it is just personal preference. For advanced graphics, guys, for these, you want to make sure that the sync is turned off. You do not want that one on. Show FPS, this can be on or off depending if you want to monitor your FPS on screen all the time. Doesn't really matter. And your rendering mode, this should obviously be on performance mode. I know it does say that it's in alpha guys, but it works great at the minute. I don't think I've had a single crash since using it, and right now performance mode is just the best mode or render mode in Fortnite as we speak. For game options, I would recommend using sprint by default, as this setting will allow you to sprint automatically without holding down a a keybind. Thus, what this will do is it'll free up a keybind since you're not using it anymore, which you can use to rebind to something else. I definitely think you should have that one turned on if you haven't already. Auto open doors, this is personal preference. I know some edit gods out there prefer to have it off due to it being useful for control in certain close range like fights when they're having edit battles and stuff, as they don't want the doors to like automatically open. However, for me, I personally find it better having this setting turned on, as I do like doors to automatically open without me having to press E or interacting with them. Hold to swap, this is a handy one to use, but it's up to you guys if you want it on or off. Toggle targeting, off means if you hold down right click, you will aim down the sight, whereas if you had it turned on, it means you have to manually click every time. I personally have this option turned off. Mark danger when targeting, auto pick up weapons, preferred item slots, auto sort consumables to the right, and also reset building choice. All of these guys, all these settings, they do exactly what they say on the tin, and I think they're all just personal preference. Disable pre-edits, I actually recommend using this one, guys, like turning it on and disabling them, and the reason for why is something I actually explained in another video, which I'll link on screen and in the description below. Turbo build, this needs to be turned on. Guys, trust me, if you're not using turbo build and you're literally clicking manually every time you're placing a build, you're just at a huge disadvantage. You definitely want to have that turned on. Confirm edit on release, this is another one that's highly debated amongst the pros in the Fortnite community, and to find out why, guys, I actually explained it in another video, which I'll link that one too on screen and in the description below. And for the rest of the game options on screen, guys, these are all personal preference, like I'm not gonna lie, except replays. Actually, replays is one you actually want to turn off if you want more FPS, because when Fortnite is recording all of your replays, that is actually taking some load on your system, and to sort of relieve that, it's better to just have them all turned off so it's not constantly recording in the background. HUD scale, these are all completely personal preference, but one I actually do want to mention is reticle ammo indicator. I think this one is super useful due to it indicating the amount of ammo you have left in your weapon, literally on the center of your screen. And I bet a lot of you guys out there, like when this first got announced, when I first made a video about it on screen right here, I bet a bunch of you just turned it off. But trust me, guys, if you actually give it another try and use it quite consistently, I can guarantee that you will keep it on, and that's why a bunch of pros out there are using it as we speak. Sensitivity, this one is a bit of a tricky one to go over in a tiny section. I'd much prefer to do a full video on it, but if you guys have no idea what sensitivity to use, I recommend that you all get some inspiration from Fortnite pro players. See if you've got a similar setup to them, get inspiration from them, and make some micro adjustments or changes to make your sensitivity more comfortable and suited to you. Alternatively as well, if you are completely new to gaming or Fortnite and you're just looking for a good general sensitivity, as a general rule of thumb, guys, I think that if you have got a small desk with limited mouse room, I always recommend using a higher sensitivity, as that will suit you a lot better than a low one. And then on the other side of a stick, if you have got a big desk and you've got loads of mouse room, you may find that a lower sensitivity is better suited to you. But guys, use it as a general rule of thumb. Try out different sensitivities, bump it up a bit, lower it a bit, and just try and find the ultimate one for you guys. Find which one feels most comfortable. For controller options and sense, I can't really say too much about this as I myself don't play controller, but I'd recommend just literally getting inspiration from pro players, then adjusting said inspiration to your liking and preference. It's literally as simple as that. For audio options, these are all personal preference in my opinion, but I will mention a few sound quality options that can affect your performance slightly. It's nothing major, but Fortnite here, as you can see, they actually say that it can reduce your performance if you use sound quality on high over using low. In addition to the audio settings inside of Fortnite though, you can make some pretty big changes outside of Fortnite that will improve the general audio quality of the game in itself. Footsteps will sound more accurate, gun sounds will sound better. And yeah, guys, as you heard right there, it sounds epic, and if you guys want these audio settings in-game for yourselves, I recommend watching this tutorial on screen right now. I'll leave a link in the description below. For keybinds, this is very similar to what I said about the sensitivity. Guys, I need to do a separate video all about keybinds, and much rather optimal keybinds. But one thing I will say about keybinds, guys, is to make sure that you're using double movement in Fortnite Season 8 if you weren't already. There's so many advantages to it. I'll put a few on screen right now. I'll leave a link to my tutorial in the description below. For account and privacy, yep, you probably didn't expect me to ever be in here, but there is actually a couple of changes we can make to gain a little bit more FPS, and those are the following. The first one is this one right here. It's social notifications. Turn that one off, guys. And then the other is show seasonal level. Turn that off as well. The reason why you want to turn these both off is because of the animations that they actually output, and if you turn it off, you can save a little bit. Yes, it might be micro, but you can save some performance at the end of the day, and Fortnite even state that right here in the top right corner too. So, but yeah, guys, that's been all of the best Fortnite settings for Season 8, the brand new season of Fortnite. If this video did help you out in any single way, guys, then be sure to let me know by dropping a like on it, and as well as that, don't forget to subscribe too, as apparently a small percentage of you that watch me aren't, so be sure to change that by dropping a sub on the channel. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all in game. Thanks for watching. Peace.